Hello class 5 students. Today we are going to do the chapter the United Nations. We have already almost done the chapter in the online class. Once again we will revise this chapter. First of all, let us know what is the United Nations. Now, the United Nations is an international organization that helps to maintain peace and security in the world. It promotes friendly relations through cooperation among different nations and help to settle disputes peacefully. So, what are the things that we come to know from this definition of United Nations? That is, United Nations is an international organization. Its first function is to maintain peace and security, also to maintain friendly relations through cooperation, and also settle disputes, but settle disputes peacefully. That is very important. Okay, not only to settle disputes, but to settle disputes peacefully. So this is what is United Nations. So United Nations is an international organization which helps to maintain law and order, and it also promotes friendly relations among different countries and helps to settle dispute, promotes friendly relations through cooperation among different nations and settle disputes peacefully. Now, we know that the United Nations is there, but why was there a need for this world international organization as United Nations? What were the reasons, causes that led to the birth of the United Nations? Causes of the birth of the UN. There were several reasons which led to the birth of the UN. First of all, devastation caused by the world wars. The 19th century witnessed 2 world wars which caused a lot of destruction. Thousands of people lost their lives and many were left homeless. The economy of many countries suffered as huge amounts of money was spent in these 2 wars. Many countries realized that war was not a solution to any problem. There was a desire for peace all over the world. So, first reason for the birth of the UN was the massive devastation that took place during the 2 world wars. Now, the First World War and the Second World War. Now, the first means within a span of First World War ended in 1918, and the Second World War started in 1939. That means that's only 21 years. Okay, and means within a span of 21 years there were 2 major world wars. And what was the effect of the world wars? That there was huge destruction. Many thousands of people died, many were left homeless, many were left crippled. Okay, means maybe they had means they were alive, but it was worse than death in that way. The countries which joined the wars, they had to spend a lot of money, so there was a huge economic setback. And another thing was people were tired of wars, and they realized that war did not bring any solution. War was not the solution to any problem. So there was an outcry of peace over the whole world. Then the next one was to develop trust among countries. After the Second World War, the countries were divided into two power blocks who were mutually suspicious of each other. There was a need for an institution which could bridge the gap between the two groups and create friendly relations among them. So, after the two wars, one war after the other, the Second World War, the world was divided into two groups. Means each group had a set of nations. Okay, and there was no sense of trust between these two groups. So something had to be done, to bring in an atmosphere of mutual cooperation, understanding, peace, harmony, everything. So only an international organization could do that. That was the second reason. And the third reason was to prevent nuclear warfare. During the Second World War, atom bombs were used, which killed and crippled millions of people and caused much misery. There was a need for an organization which could try to save the world from further destruction. Now, this nuclear warfare is devastating. As I said, not only did these wars take away lives, it crippled a lot of people. And living such a life was worse than death. So, there had to be some organization which could see to it that such things were not repeated in future, and that was one of the reasons why an international organization was required. Birth of the UN. The First World War started in 1940 and ended in 1980. The world desired peace, and the League of Nations was formed in 1990. But it failed to maintain peace, and the Second World War broke out in 1939. The devastation caused by the Second World War was tremendous. After the war ended in 1945, countries like Britain, France, and United States of America wanted a more effective organization than the League of Nations to maintain peace in the world. Now, after the end of the First World War, that is, the First World War began in 1914 and ended in 1980. And after the end of it, League of Nations was formed. But this League of Nations could not bring peace, and that's why it led to the Second World War. So then the superpowers, that is Britain, America, France, all of them decided that there had to be an organization which was more effective, which could actually implement the laws which could prevent any further world wars in this way. So this was this was another reason why this United Nations came into being. We'll do the rest of the chapter in the next classes. Thank you.